In the summer of 1942, Nazi Germany pushed deep into the Soviet Union, determined to finish what Hitler had started the year before. But one city on the Volga River would soon become the center of one of the bloodiest battles in human history. Hitler now turned his attention toward the Caucasus and the oil fields that Germany desperately needed. To protect this advance and control the Volga, Stalingrad became an increasingly important target. Stalingrad stretched for miles along the western bank of the Volga River. It was an industrial city filled with factories, apartment blocks, railways, and workers who would soon find themselves living inside a battlefield. Then the German Luftwaffe appeared over the city. Wave after wave of aircraft attacked Stalingrad, turning neighborhoods into burning ruins and forcing thousands of civilians into shelters. The bombardment transformed Stalingrad into a landscape of fire and rubble. Yet Hitler's bombing created a terrible problem for his own army. The ruins would give Soviet soldiers thousands of places from which to fight. By late August and September, German forces pushed into Stalingrad itself. They believed the city was close to falling, but the Soviets were preparing to turn every street, factory, and building into a fortress. Behind the Soviet defenders was the Volga River. If the Germans reached it in force, the city's defenders could be cut off from reinforcements. Soviet commanders understood that Stalingrad could not simply be surrendered. Reinforcements were rushed into the city while a much larger plan began taking shape behind the front lines. Inside the city, General Vasily Chukov took command of the Soviet 62nd Army. His orders were simple: hold Stalingrad at all costs. The battle quickly became a fight for individual buildings. A factory floor, apartment block, or staircase could change hands repeatedly in a single day. The city's enormous factories became some of the most important battlefields. Places such as the Red October factory and the Barikati factory were transformed into fortified positions. In the ruins, Soviet snipers became feared by German troops. One of the most famous was Vasily Zaitsev, whose reputation became a symbol of Soviet resistance. German soldiers began calling the fighting in the ruins a Rattenkrieg, a rat war. There was no safe rear area anymore. Danger could come from any doorway, basement, or broken window. One of the most fiercely contested locations was Mamiev Kurgan, a high hill overlooking the city. Whoever controlled it could observe large sections of the battlefield. The Germans captured much of Stalingrad, but they could not destroy the Soviet resistance. Every meter of ground cost lives, ammunition, and time. As autumn disappeared, temperatures began to fall. The German army was still fighting inside the city, but far beyond the ruins, the Soviet Union was preparing something enormous. On November 19, 1942, the Soviets launched Operation Uranus. Instead of attacking the strongest German forces inside the city, they struck the weaker Axis armies protecting the German flanks. The Romanian forces protecting the German flanks were overwhelmed. The Soviet advance moved rapidly behind the German 6th Army. Within days, Soviet armies from the north and south were racing toward each other. On November 23rd, they met at Kalik, closing the trap around the German 6th Army. Inside the pocket were roughly 250,000 Axis troops, including the German 6th Army and supporting formations. Suddenly, an army that had expected victory was surrounded. German commanders wanted to break out before the trap became permanent. But Hitler ordered the 6th Army to remain where it was, promising that supplies would come by air. The Luftwaffe promised to keep the trapped army supplied. But the scale of the pocket was enormous, and the airlift could never deliver everything the soldiers needed. Food became scarce, ammunition dwindled, medical supplies disappeared, and horses were slaughtered for meat. Hunger became as dangerous as the Soviet army. Outside the pocket, Soviet forces tightened their grip. Inside, German soldiers became increasingly isolated from the world beyond Stalingrad. In December, Field Marshal Erich von Manstein launched Operation Winterstorm to rescue the trapped army. German forces pushed towards Stalingrad, but Hitler still refused to let Paulus break out. The relief force came close, but it could not reach the trapped Sixth Army. The German soldiers inside Stalingrad were now completely abandoned to their fate. In January 1943, the Soviets launched Operation Ring to destroy the remaining German forces. The pocket was split apart, and the end of the Sixth Army was approaching. On January 31st, 1943, Friedrich Paulus surrendered with his headquarters. Hitler had promoted him to Field Marshal just one day earlier, expecting him to die rather than surrender. A few German units continued fighting for several more days. But on February 2nd, 1943, organized German resistance in Stalingrad finally ended. Stalingrad had cost hundreds of thousands of lives and destroyed one of Germany's most powerful armies. Hitler's dream of conquering the Soviet Union had suffered a devastating blow, and the war on the Eastern Front would never be the same. Stalingrad was more than a battle for one city. It became the moment when Germany's unstoppable advance into the Soviet Union finally met an enemy it could not defeat. The German Sixth Army had entered Stalingrad expecting victory. It left behind hundreds of thousands of dead, prisoners, and shattered dreams of conquest. From that winter onward, the balance of power on the Eastern Front began to change. Stalingrad had not ended World War II, but it had changed its direction forever.